Tell me when. Good morning. Thank you for being here. When is now? There is only now. So I want to take this moment to thank each and every one of you for making time for us on this International Day of Peace, September 21st, 2025. Take a look within yourself and think about what are the attributes of peace that I hold dear. We're going to be talking about that later today. So I want to take a moment to thank the Reverend Sonia Russell for being our guest speaker last Sunday. I got great feedback. You all enjoyed it. We loved her empowering message. So thank you, Reverend Sonia. Thank you to everyone that have made today's service possible and have brought it together. And now, wherever you are, I want you to know we see you, we appreciate you, and we thank God for you. If you're joining us online and this is your first time, welcome. If this is your first time in the sanctuary, welcome. We know that there's so many other things that you could be doing on a Sunday morning. We are glad that you took the time to be in community with us. So now I know you want to know what else is going on at CSL Visalia. So I'm going to turn it over to Lori for our announcements. Lori.
Can you hear me? Oh, yes, you can hear me. Okay, so these are the only peace signs that we have left. So they're going to stay at the center just like we did the peace poles and stuff. So I'll put them over here and everywhere I can find a little spot. Okay, we have a lot of announcements, you guys, so here we go. We're still doing the protein and for Food Link, and let me just take a quick look. Okay, we got little birdies here helping us. All right, so we got a little bit more space in there. We can do that. Next slide. Okay, our fall study guides. There's 3 books that we're doing, and they will be available in the bookstore. I'm not quite sure if you guys talked about it this morning in... Okay. Gwen says she's waiting for the shipment to come in. So we've got really good stuff. The Bible says so. The pivot year, I think that sounds interesting. And from the inside out. And we have the inside out, 3 books in there. Okay, so fall study guides, fall book reading. International Peace Day next. We don't have any pictures. I feel really bad. Donna's going to be really mad at me. But I think Gwen has some pictures, and maybe we can post them next time, okay? You have pictures, Gwen? Okay. All right, so we had a wonderful time. And I don't know if that's going to be posted online, the talks, if that is possible. Maybe not. Yeah, no, it wasn't. I guess it was an in-person event only, I'm sorry to say, but it was really good. And we had prayers and from the Mennonites and from he was an officer in the from Tulare, and he was an officer he was a chaplain for the National Guard or something like that. Okay, I'm sorry I don't have the specifics, but he was up there. Neighborhood Church was here. She did a lovely job. We had Tino, who did, the Episcopalians were here, and Tino did the four directions, and well, actually it was 6 directions, so that was really good. So it was lovely. Donna? And we had somebody from a mosque come. She and her companion were here, and they were very welcomed and loved being here. She says she's been here for 20 years, and she loves Visalia, and this is another thing that she loves. That's what she said. So we hope to see her again, and we hope to do the Peace Day again next year and make it even better, okay? Woohoo! I'm so excited. It was just a lovely event. It even brought tears to some people's eyes. Okay. Next slide. This was added just a few minutes ago by Hope. We got it in, Hope. And what are we going to do here? September 27th, 12 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. We're going to have a choir membership kickoff. And I personally think that I will love this. I hope that I can get my you-know-what out to it, because I love to sing, but I'm a little embarrassed sometimes. So under Hope's tutelage, thank you, Hope, and I hope everybody that wants to sing and get that out of our systems and share it with the world. Come on, let's go and have Hope, Coach from Hope, September 27th, Coach from Hope, okay? It's in Fresno. Well, we can get some ride shares and go on up, okay? Nothing's going to stop us if we really want to do it. Got it. Okay. Okay. So there you go. Thank you, Hope. Get the songs out of our mouth and out of our heart and share it with others. I appreciate that. Okay. New class, the Essential Ernest Holmes, 8 Tuesdays from September 23rd to November 11th. It's going to be on Zoom, 6 to 8:30 p.m. The instructors are going to be Reverend Jack, which is wonderful, and Suzette Celeste, which is she's a practitioner from Heart and Soul. Okay, so it's free or with a love offering, and it is the foundation of CSL. All right, next one, if I can get it there. All right, 40th anniversary. It's coming up. All these slides can be tweaked a little bit. This slide, these couple next slides are just get it on your calendar so that we have it blocked off, and we'll need some help probably for those things too. So we have the 40th anniversary of Reverend Jack, October 19th. And we're going to have a potluck, and he wants to do a listening circle. And so we'll be handing out 3x5 cards, and it'll be just a community event where we can discuss and listen and support each other. Next slide. Marjorie Brannon, the ceremony's coming up too. I don't know who that person is who's going to be awarded that. It's in process probably. Yeah. And that is going to be October 25th. So put that on your calendars, October 25th. And again, these slides are just to get it out there so that you can get it on your calendar. All right. Let's see. Is there another one? We had a lot, really a lot of slides. Is there another one? No. Woo, I got through them all. All right, yay. Have a good day, you guys.
Thank you, Lori, for letting everyone know what we're all about because of who we're all about. So in line with that, it's time to move on to our mission statement. If everybody would please read along with me. Center for Spiritual Living Visalia is the place everyone comes together, connecting in love and learning how to create abundant, joyful, and peaceful lives. Thank you so much. And now it's time to get moving and grooving with our first song, I Am the Place Where God Shows Up.
Am I strong enough to bear the burden that sometimes comes with living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing in the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I can do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. And will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have enough of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I can do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. That's right, put your hands together. There we go. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place, in the place where God, you are the place, moves and breathes and has its being. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Thank you guys so much. That was so wonderful. All right. So, Science of Mind has 13 what we believe statements, and each week we look at one of them. If I can please have everybody read along with me. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. Thank you so much. Now, if I could please call up our Carol for the diversity quote. Thank you.
And I say thank you to Sima for being such a lovely light in the room to carry us from one event to another, and which she just helped lead us in this week's statement of what we believe. And I'd like to underline the words, believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. The expanding part reminds me of this universe. When you look at this universe through the magnificent mechanism of the telescope that they have in outer space, that can see beyond the beginning of time, because it can look back through the infrared spectrum. It's marvelous. So my job is to take this statement of belief and find other words to use for it. And I found what better author than Joel Goldsmith. He was a New Thought leader and a mystic. And this is what he said. God is the substance of our being, and therefore we are eternal and harmonious. God is life, and this life is self-sustained. He is our soul, and we are pure and immortal. God is the mind of the individual, and this constitutes the intelligence of our being. Thank you, Joel Goldsmith.
Thank you so much, Carol. So as we are sitting with that quote and letting it enter into our mind and bodies, nothing better to help resonate than some music. So we're going to move on to our next song, which is I'm Stepping Out.
I'm stepping out into a world of possibilities. I'm stepping out into a whole new way to live. There's so much waiting for me. The path is clear before me. I've got so much that I have yet to give. I'm stepping out and I'm in whole new integrity. Sorry. I'm stepping out, releasing every fear and doubt. The road just keeps on turning, and every turn I'm learning what this life is all about. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. One more time. I'm stepping out into a world of possibilities. I'm stepping out into a whole new way to live. There's so much waiting for me. The path is clear before me. I've got so much that I have yet to give. I'm stepping out and I'm committing to integrity. I'm stepping out, releasing every fear and doubt. The road just keeps on turning, and every turn I'm learning what this life is all about. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. All right.
So we are stepping out. I am affirming that we are stepping out in faith, that we are stepping out to be the demonstration of a world that works for all. You know, September 21st is the International Day of Peace. And you heard Lori talk a little bit about how we celebrated the International Day of Peace yesterday by bringing folks together, a tapestry of folks that have a common understanding of prayer, of music, of insight, and an idea of what peace might mean. And I want to get back to a little bit of an understanding about how the International Day of Peace even came into being. You know, it's relatively a new thing. It was born out of the United Nations in 1981, beginning their fall session as the International Day of Peace. And then 20 years or so later, they decided to make it the September 21st as the day. And the intention was pure. The intention was forthright. The intention to set aside the day when everyone around the world could entertain this idea of peace. But what happened? Well, look at us being human. Here we are on September 21st. Let's take a look and a timeout right now of all those things that we said we were going to do in our own personal life on January 1st of this year. those goals, those intentions, those things that we said that we were going to do this year in order to make it happen. We were going to lose the 20 pounds. We were going to walk every day. We were going to eat healthier food. We were going to eliminate sugar from our diet. We were going to eliminate carbs from our diet. We were going to have that hard conversation with a family member. We set out with the best intentions. And then what happened? We took our focus off of our attention. As the Reverend Dr. Andriette often says, we must keep our attention on our intention. We must constantly be vigilant to see if what we say we're going to do, we are doing something about it each and every day. It's not often anymore that we even talk about the United Nations. There are many of us who have no idea what their charter was for 2025, what their focus is for 2025, who is even, we don't even want to say this out loud because I fear I couldn't pass the test and you couldn't pass the test. Who is the United States ambassador to the United Nations? Pop quiz. Do you even know? So we've taken our attention off to this entity that was born out of World War II with the intention that if we meet together, if we think about peace, if we put that as our focus, if we commit to it, then we will never have another world war. We were excited about it. A part of the reason why we were excited about it is that the United Nations was kind of born in our own backyard. We have that image of that building in New York City that is the United Nations, but we have forgotten that the United Nations was formed in San Francisco in the War Memorial Auditorium. That's where the folks, the representatives from around the world first came together to build the charter, to build the mission, to organize the thing itself as to what the United Nations would be. I want you to know our ancestors, our elders were all in it. They would listen every night on the radio to the hearings that transpired that day when all of these countries from around the world came together to entertain this idea of peace and how they might find unity in the essentials, but great, compassionate, heartfelt conversation around everything else. They had the idea that peace was possible. And so we hired them, we brought them into place, and then we took our eye off the ball. We stopped listening. We stopped thinking about it. And then there would be another conflict that would come up. It would be the conflict in Korea. It would be the Vietnam War. It would be the war in Iraq. It would, whatever it would be, every so many years, what is the United Nations up to? What are they doing? What are we doing? You know, we thought they were handling that. Aren't we supposed to have peace? Aren't they supposed to be doing that? Well, what we have learned in our history, in our evolution, is there is no they. There is only us. There is only us. And if change is to occur, it's up to us to make that change happen. We have to be the change that we're seeking. And guess what? That's right in alignment with this faith, this philosophy, this way of living that Dr. Ernest Holmes talks about. That change is an inside out job. We have the audacity to end every service every week with a song, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Now, for many of us, we walk away going, okay, we did that now, so it's up to them to do the rest. We sang the song, we prayed the prayer, we wrote the note, so now it's up to them to get it done. No, it's up to us. We must be vigilant in our intention of making peace possible. Now, that goes against what many absolutely believe to be true. There are religious sects, organizations that we will find just down the street or around the next corner that believe that peace is only possible in the afterlife, in a time beyond this time. Well, what we learn from our what we believe statement today is this one continuous thing. There is no after time. There is this time that is ever eternal and ever expanding. It's not going to happen down there or then or over there or even then. It happens now within us, and it's raising that collective consciousness of it. There are people, if you are on social media this weekend, oh my goodness, the dialogue that's going on. There are some religious sects right now that are celebrating that they have this belief that Tuesday is the end day. They have this philosophy born out of Revelations, this understanding of Revelations, that the end times are near. If we had $1 for every time that was said in our history, we would be even more abundant than we are right now. But nevertheless, there are some folks who believe it's coming on Tuesday. Now, those folks that believe that it's coming on Tuesday are interpreting what they have been taught. So if somebody were to say that to you, our first inclination may not be to want to say, bless your heart. It may be a little bit more of us to call upon our higher self and say, tell me a little bit more about that. How did you come to such an understanding that a time like this? How are you interpreting this? You know, and one of the things that they may very well get to is the whole understanding of Revelations and the book of Revelations in the Bible and when it was written and what they were told to think about it or to say about it or to believe about it. But that's not who we are. That's not who we are as a community. What we are called to do is to do the research, to Google it, to understand. Okay, Revelations was never a part of the Hebrew Bible. Revelations was never a part of the Old Testament. It was constructed centuries after those books, those poems, those songs were written in order to control and have dominion over people, to make them think, okay, you'll sacrifice now because your reward is coming later. That's fear-based thinking. That's domination control thinking. We believe something different in this faith, this philosophy, and this way of living. We believe there's quite enough love to transform the world. There's quite enough food to feed the world. There's quite enough ingenuity on the planet right now to help everyone raise up to their highest potential. We have to put our focus back on the essentials. You know, when somebody talks to you about the lack that exists, rather than trying to argue with them about who they're wanting to marginalize or who they are wanting to push aside because of this false notion of lack, encourage them to say, well, what if we expanded? What if we expanded so that there was enough for everybody? Would you welcome everybody at that time? I think most would get there. So I think we have this opportunity in our lives right now to give peace a chance. That was the song in the 60s and the 70s that we all sang as an anthem. Give peace a chance. Be willing to give peace a chance. Be willing to think about that. One of the things that I heard this week that so resonated with me as I was putting my talk together is there is no change that ever occurred in our country that was called forth by the majority. Any change that ever came was brought up by the minority of us. When the minority remembers that their voice counts, when they will be heard, then change starts to happen. I think we're on that cusp right now. We are on an evolutionary shift that is about to happen within our own country where people are going to see what is for the highest and best. But they will never see it if we remain quiet, if we remain reserved and on the side and say, okay, well, I'm going to go close my door and do nothing until all this is over with. If we do that, we are complacent to the power, the control, the domination that they are offering. But if we are willing to, as the song said, step out and be seen and come from a point of peace, we can make a shift. We can make a shift. You know, there was a famous play that was written in 1968. It's been performed a few times. The play is called The Meeting, and it is a reimagination of a night that was allegedly to have happened in New York City. It was a night when Malcolm X came together to share a meal with Dr. Martin Luther King. And in that meeting, they allowed each other to share their point of view. They first thoughtfully sought out to understand where the other person was coming from. If you remember, Dr. Martin Luther King was all about peaceful resistance. Malcolm X was about being militant and taking back the rights. They all both had the same end in mind, but they had two very distinct, different ways to get there. But they decided to come together to understand, is there some common ground here? Now, one could argue that the person who made the bigger shift in that conversation was Malcolm X. And that shift that he made in his understanding after he had traveled the world and studied other religions and saw what other people were doing, he really come to understand this philosophy that Dr. King held, that peaceful resistance, the principles, the thoughts of Gandhi and other resistance that held up peace first might be a way to go. He was changing. He was entertaining a different point of view. Some say he lost his life because he was willing to change that. But equally, some say that Dr. King lost his life because of the path that he chose. Regardless, let's look at the intention where they were seeking to understand the other to get to a place of common unity. Let them be the example of what we are called to do in a time like this. We want to be defensive. We want to make the other wrong. But we have to understand there is no other. If you take the philosophy of a Carl Jung or some of the other New Thought leaders, you would come to understand there is only one of us. What we are seeing and perceiving as other is the shadow of ourself. Our worst fears about ourself made manifest so that we can look at it, so that we can heal it. So we have two things to do with that. We can look at our own fear. And why I say fear and why I think this is so appropriate for a time such as this. The opposite of peace is not chaos. The opposite of peace is fear. And fear is false equivalent appearing real. Think of fear that way. Fear is a false equivalent appearing real. That's why some people can believe it, because it appears to be real. There appears to be lack in the universe. There appears to be this idea that there's not enough for all of us to have a loving, prosperous life. But we don't believe that. We believe that fear is a false equivalent. Therefore, whatever looks like the manifestation of the fear, the opposite of that must be true. That we live in a plentiful universe. We live with an idea and a belief and knowing that there's enough food on our planet to feed everyone. We know there's enough ingenuity in our planet that we can eradicate global warming without it costing anybody anything. That we know that there is enough intelligence and scientific research that if we put our minds together, we could heal any disease that exists out there if we are willing to believe in that level of prosperity and to bring that voice back to the community. So the lesson for the week is this. When you encounter someone that is offering the idea of lack, when someone offers you the idea that the cost is just too high, when someone is offering you the point of view that the other needs to be eliminated, challenge them to expand their thinking and offer the idea, what would you say if there was enough food? What would you say if there was enough housing? What would you say if there was enough scientific research to make medicine inexpensive for all? What if? That's the message that we can bring to the town square to shift the conversation. And that is what I believe that we are called to do in a time like this, to be the demonstration of peace, to be the demonstration that we are an example of unconditional love, that we are the example to say, we see you, we hear you, and we seek to understand you, that we're willing to step out and to be the one that does it first. So go, have a blessed week. Go do the thing. Celebrate the idea of peace today and think, what is peace to you? And how does it show up in your life? And how are you manifesting even more ideas around peace each and every day this week? And with that, I turn it over to our musicians who have another song for you right now. Thank you, everyone.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of your imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in a world of all creation. What you'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do is wanna change the world. There's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be.
Now, with all that good now flowing through us, it is time to move into the giving portion of our service. If I could please have 2 ushers come forward. Thank you. All right, now let's read our prosperity prayer together. Today I expect every good thing to come to me, for I know that divine abundance is forever manifesting itself in my affairs. I am keeping my whole mind and thought and expectation open to new experiences, to happier events, to a more complete self-expression. Everything that belongs to spirit, I accept. Everything that partakes of the nature of divine reality, I claim as my own. I identify with success and I prosper in everything I do. As I give thanks for the good now flowing into my life, I gladly share that good with others. The more I give, the more I receive. I experience a deeper consciousness of peace and security, for I know that I am in the embrace of a warm, loving presence. My cup runneth over. I exist in limitless possibility. Thank you. so it is. Right, for all of you that are watching at home, we do have a few places you can donate if you're not here in the sanctuary with us on Sunday. You can go to cslvisalia.org and click on donate. You can also mail a check to CSL Visalia at 117 South Locust, Visalia, California 93291, and we appreciate your participation wherever you are. Thank you. Now, as everyone is giving their gifts, if we could all come forward and start forming our circle. I'll be right down to join you. And then we're going to bless the gifts. Yeah. Okay.
All right. As we come together, we give thanks for this opportunity to share in our abundance, knowing that every gift given to CSL Visalia comes back to us tenfold. We give thanks for that. And as we come together in our expanded circle today, as you look upon each other in the circle, in the room, that you see the tapestry that is unfolding in front of you. See the uniqueness of God's expression standing before you. That while we were all one and while we all come from one universal expression of the divine, look how unique that expression is. Each and every one of us has something to offer the world when we proclaim that peace on earth is possible, and we know that it begins with us. So join me in the singing of Let There Be Peace on Earth on this International Day of Peace. Blessings, everyone.
Now there is peace on earth. I know it begins with me. Now there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment